Hey everyone, my name's Eric. I'm the lead product designer at Hoseki, and what I want to do today is walk you through what we've built and focus on how we've built this from a kind of product and the UI lens. So for those of you who don't know, Hoseki is a Bitcoin tool that lets you prove that you have Bitcoin ownership securely without compromising your private keys. And then this allows you to get a statement that kind of looks like this. That is formatted in a way that the kind of traditional financial world is used to seeing wealth and asset information displayed, but it's all Bitcoin. And then you can get this statement and then you can send it to a counterparty or to your traditional financial institution and then use it as part of your kind of proof of wealth, basically. So what we do at Hoseki is we make it easy for you to obtain one of these statements in a way that is totally secure without ever compromising your private keys and leaves you having custody of your Bitcoin at all times. And we do that by using message signing. So for those of you who are familiar, you know that message signing is something that's built into Bitcoin natively, and it is cryptographically secure. When you are signing a message, you are signing something that shows that you have proof of control for those addresses or that specific address, and you are not signing a transaction. So we leverage message signing on the back end to basically allow users to prove their ownership and then get this statement. So let's take a look at kind of how that works with cold storage devices and with the tool that we've built. So initially the user is going to log in. They're going to run through an onboarding that I've skipped, but they'll land on a screen that looks like this. It's an empty state that gives them an idea of the statement that they can get through this website. And if they click view statement example, a modal will pop up that gives them kind of a very clear example of exactly what a statement looks like, how it's formatted, so that now they have a stronger idea of exactly what it is that they're going to get when they run through these flows. So the first thing that the user will have to do is connect their cold storage devices. And what we've done is we've created a kind of model where a statement is made up of something that we're calling claims. And claims are basically proofs of Bitcoin ownership. They are Bitcoin accounts or Bitcoin addresses that you've cryptographically proven that you have the control over through message signing. So in order for you to generate a statement, you have to first create a series of claims, and then claims can be combined into one statement. That way you can have Bitcoin in multiple places and multiple devices. Maybe you have a multi-sig, maybe you have a couple single sig devices, but it's irrelevant because you can add as many claims as you want and then combine them into one statement that paints a whole picture of your wealth, or maybe just a fraction of it, depending on your use case. So let's look at the process of what it looks like to kind of connect your first claim, to connect your first device. So let's say that I have a Ledger device and I want to connect it and get started with Hoseki to get my statement. So what I'm first going to do is click on claims, and then I see an empty state here because I don't yet have any claims, but I have the option to connect a couple devices. So we support the three kind of leading Bitcoin hardware wallets, which are Trezor, Coldcard, Ledger. We also support multi-sig, which I will show in another video. But let's say that you don't have one of these hardware devices. We also support the ability for you to be able to manually confirm your Bitcoin holdings through message signing. So if you're someone that's comfortable using Sparrow or Blue Wallet or some of these other tools that let you manually sign a message, then you can also use our manual message signing flow to prove control over the Bitcoin associated with a specific address. So this is great for users who maybe are a little bit more privacy conscious, or they want to only kind of prove control for a specific address as opposed to a hardware wallet. A hardware wallet's entire address is via their XPub. But for the purposes of this demo, I want to show you guys how we've built this flow that walks the user through connecting a hardware wallet for those that maybe aren't as comfortable with Bitcoin message signing, which is probably the vast majority of people, if we're being honest. Most people probably have not signed a message on Bitcoin. They probably don't even know what that means. So let's walk through the process of connecting a ledger. So let's say that I have a ledger, I select ledger, and what we've designed is this very kind of hand-holdy flow where we walk the user through this process step by step. We've tried to avoid jargon. We've tried to keep it so that we present the user with kind of one task at per time on the screen. And we've also embedded these kind of animations at the top that guide them through this process and give them an idea of what it is that they should be doing with their device, how they should be physically interacting with it, and what's going on. So the first step just has some instructions that tells them what they need to do to prepare for this process. In this case, it's unlocking your ledger and launching the Bitcoin app, which is kind of standard practice for ledger devices. So I'm going to go ahead and do that over here. So I have my ledger device here. I'm going to go ahead and enter my PIN to unlock my device. And now I'm going to launch the Bitcoin app. And I see that the ledger says Bitcoin is ready. So I know that the Bitcoin app has been launched. And now I'm ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and hit next. Hoseki is going to scan the device for all the different addresses that are associated with this ledger. It's going to look at the different derivation paths. It's going to find all of the Bitcoin that is connected to this device. So now I see that the scan has been complete. And in my case, I have kind of 3 different Bitcoin addresses. I think they're called accounts in Ledger Live, but I can select any one of these that I want to be a claim, a proof of ownership. So in this case, I'll just select kind of the first one here. And when I select it, I can also, if I want to get a better idea of exactly what it is I'm selecting, I can expand it. And now I can see the XPub that's associated with this particular account. And I can see the script type. So now I can see that, okay, this is pay to public key hash script type. I can look at the other ones and I can get another idea of kind of what these are. And if I'm an advanced user, I would know kind of where these are in my derivation hierarchy and things like that. So I'll just stick with, I'll just pick this one for now, my SegWit account. So now I'll hit continue. And now what we're explaining to the user is that they've connected their account and we've identified it, but what they need to do now is prove control through message signing. So again, the flow is kind of very much holding the user's hand, explaining to them what's happening, trying to communicate exactly kind of how this works without jargon. We have animations that seek to kind of convey this in a simple fashion, so the user will have a more confident idea of kind of what it is they're doing. So they'll run through this step by step. We're explaining kind of what does it mean to prove control with your ledger. You're signing a message and this is kind of how it works. This is kind of how it looks like, and this is why it's secure. We try to kind of just really explain this in a very kind of simple and friendly way for users. So I'm running through the flow here, and now I have an idea of exactly what it is that I'm going to be signing a message for. So in this example, we could see that I'm being shown the entire message that I will be signing. I'm being shown the address and the derivation path. We have tooltips that kind of explain kind of what these things are if the user wants more context, but we're presenting the message that we're going to be having them sign on their device to prove ownership. So at this point, I'm going to select prove control. It's saying waiting for device confirmation. So I'm going to look at my device here, and I see on my device, I have a sign message. I'm going to take a look at that. I could see the derivation path. I could see that adds up. The message hash, I think Ledger hashes the messages. With the other hardware wallets, I think it actually shows the entire message. And I'm going to sign this message. So I've hit sign. And now Hoseki has recognized the signature. It's validated the ownership. And it says that my claim is now verified. So that's it. I've connected a claim with Hoseki. So at this point, I can connect other claims. Let's say I have more Bitcoin on a Trezor, on a cold card. I can select connect another claim and I can plug those in and start stacking up my claims. But let's just say that this is the only Bitcoin that I want to prove ownership of. So I'll just go ahead and generate the statement. So now when I hit generate statement, I'm back on the generate statement screen and I can see that my ownership claims have been added here. So in this example, this is the claim that I just added with the ledger. I could see the amount in Bitcoin and the amount in fiat. I can select it. And once I select it, I can generate a statement for the claim that's selected. I can also preview it. So in the event that I want to kind of just take a look before I generate the statement, I can, do a preview here. I can see what this is going to consist of. If, let's say I needed this for a specific date range. So if I needed this for the last, 6 months or so, I'll just select, March until now, and then I'll preview, and then I'll see kind of how the statement looks like with the information related to like those specific dates. In this case, this is a test device, so there isn't a lot of activity. That's why there's only kind of one transaction. But if you're someone who is like frequently depositing on a weekly or a monthly basis, you'll see that breakdown more accurately reflected here. So I'm going to go ahead and generate the statement. So I select generate statement. We let the user know that we're generating the statement. It's on their way. When it's ready, they'll see it on their home screen. In this case, it's been completed. So now what I can do is view the statement. And now here on the right, I have the statement that I just generated. I can preview it here. I can download it locally. So let's say I need this PDF to print out and send to my lender or to email to my lender. I can just download the statement as I've done. And I have a full period or a monthly view where it breaks it down, kind of month by month if you need it in a month by month format. So over here, I could see kind of April, May, and it'll break down the transactions in a month by month format. And now if I go back home, I see that the screen has kind of changed. And now I could see the statements that I've generated here. And as I generate more statements, they'll kind of populate here and they'll live here. So in the event I need to come back after a couple months to view a statement, I can just do so here. So that's how we handle Bitcoin verification, proof of ownership with message signing at Hoseki. I hope this video has been helpful. I hope I've explained kind of some of the design and product decisions that we've made to really try to make this as intuitive as possible. We welcome anyone to try. Go to hoseki.app, give it a try, give us your feedback. Your feedback is a gift. If there's anything that you found when you walk through it that you think could be optimized or is unclear, reach out to me directly. Erik, E-R-I-K, at hoseki.app. I'll respond right away. I'm very eager to make this product as useful as possible and as beautiful as possible. So any feedback is appreciated. We're very quick to respond and we're very receptive to what you guys have to say in the Bitcoin community. So that's it. Thank you all for watching. Bye.